remember back to the pragmatic truth criterion. Which perspective, which truth perspective on what this disorder is all about am I going to adopt right now? And I'm going to choose that based on which is going to help me to love this person well. Those are the pragmatics. The thing I'm trying to do. The success would be is if I can love this person well. Then I will adopt that perspective. So with addiction and substance use disorders, this is really, it's useful to be able to take at least two perspectives. Now, one perspective is basically the AA perspective. I have a disease. It's called a disease model. And there it's like, you got to be completely abstinent, stop drinking completely. One drink, is too many and 1,000 is never enough type of a thing. I have to be completely stone cold abstinent. And then the other perspective would be like, it's not a disease, brother. It's just a choice. Don't drink. Don't drink so much, at least. And so this I have a disease thing and this choice thing, there's arguments that really make sense for both. And I hope you got that from the podcast. Gene Heyman is an author who wrote a book about how addiction is a disorder of choice. And I would suggest you check that out if you like him. Yeah, I'm sure you can find it for cheap on the internet now. It came out probably around 2010 or something like that. And then, other people on the show talked about it's definitely not a choice. It's drugs damage your brain. They damage the brakes in your brain, the part of your brain that allows you to inhibit your behavior. And guess what? If that part is damaged, then you can't inhibit your behavior anymore. You can't stop doing drugs because drugs have damaged the part of your brain that helps you to stop doing drugs. So it is a disease. It's not a choice. I think both sides have some very good points. And therefore, I flexibly apply both. And I think you should do that too. In some circumstances, someone will say to me, it's rare that you talk to someone about their addiction. Usually people keep their addictions hidden, unless it's other people that are like doing the addiction with them and they don't feel judged and stuff. So it depends. If you're maybe thinking about your own addiction or someone you're close with or someone that happens to open up to you or whatever, which perspective are you going to adopt? That it's a choice or that it's a disease or somewhere in the middle? I think it's good to be able to think about it both. And you can even say, I think both of those positions make sense, depending. What you don't want to do is make someone feel like they have no hope. So if you say, it's a disease, my brakes are broken in my brain, I'm never going to stop drinking, or I'm never going to stop looking at porn. That stinks. That's not hopeful. So I wouldn't tell someone that. Or if I did say something like that, you might tell someone that to make them feel like, brother, stop being so hard on yourself. Like, you've done some things, bad things have happened because of your addiction. And that's because some changes in your brain might have taken place, and it would happen to a lot of people. These things are powerful substances. Pornography, heroin, gambling, alcohol. They're all things that are hijacking massively powerful reward centers in our brain. They're the parts of our brain that light up, that are active when we have a success in life, like a big time success, like I just took over the village, or like, which would be like a video game type of a thing, activates that area, like, yes, I just won, or I just had sex, feels great, or I don't feel pain anymore, I found something that makes me not feel pain anymore. And these would be all things that in our evolutionary history would be massive wins for us, right? Things that are going to help us to survive, pass on our genes. If you take over the town, guess what? You're going to be passing on your genes a lot, probably, to all the ladies in your pack are going to want to get with you. And so that's the thing you're tapping into in these video games is like, oh, victory, ah. And it feels so good. And these are the brain systems that we're hijacking when we play video games, when we look at pornography, when we do heroin or cocaine or other drugs or alcohol. We don't feel pain anymore. You know, they're powerful, powerful stuff. And so your heart should go out to people that are stuck in those loops where they keep going back to light up that brain system again and again. It makes sense, given how powerful and ancient those brain systems are. But it doesn't mean that it's an unescapable loop. Heyman is right that most people hang up their addictions in their 30s when they want to have a career, basically, or they want to have kids or something like that. It seems really hard to do, and for a long time it can be, but people do it. Most addicts are ex-addicts. And so it is something you can stop. It can be hard, but it's something that you can stop. And that's a really good point that is brought up by Carl Hart there in his one-page article on how the disease model of addiction is essentially racist and gives, no hope to people of color who are in communities where drug use is associated with a lot of incarceration. First of all, treating it as a crime, he doesn't agree with. But that I'll leave for another video.